Hey team, today is 9th of June 2021 and it's day 20. So welcome all and thank you for watching my rethink and develop 100 days. Um, R&D 100 days starts with rethinking followed by development. And today is day 20. I'm going to be rethinking tasty community and tomorrow we will be developing it. So first, like always, is going to be a quick recap from last week. Last week we talked about rethinking COVID-19's impact on community and how we can solve that, and we chose Tasty Community, right? We chose Tasty Community to fix the fractures and breakpoints that COVID-19 has set on us, right? And that those fracture the bonds of the good taste of sharing in the Tasty Community, right? And even before the pandemic, right? I think people were very individualistic about it. So I think, super individualistic, and so very cold, right? Um, and now it's after 2 years. We think of this tasty community that has six topics, right? It has good news sharing, charming moments, that good food sharing, wonderful shows, beautiful things, and health wellness, right? And then lastly, we talked about it being borderless. So that is what I will pick up on today. So day 20. Tasty community sharing is from local to global. And what do we call that? Well, if we put it together, we can call it um, global, right? It's a pretty interesting term for it, but global. It is a global tasty community. And the purpose of it is that um, everyone can every day have some parts to work on, right? And then um, and those parts that I talked about are those six parts, right? And that works in well because there are 6 days and six parts, right? So I'm gonna try to go over that again. So six parts. So first of all, day one would be faith day, right? That would be, and the six parts are good news sharing, which is sharing about faith again, but from each person, sort of like a testimony day or something like that. Sharing charming moments, right? You're sharing the good times with each other, okay? Sharing the good times, sharing how to have a good time. Uh, Good food sharing, right? That also is related to inheritance, right? Um, Wonderful shows, right? Many people are very gifted and talented in multiple arts and crafts, and they can put on wonderful shows for each other. Um, Beautiful things, right? We have different things that are um, different with each other and like different products. And, and we can, excuse me, and we can share it with each other as well. Lastly, we have health wellness, right? Sharing because the current hospital and medical system acts like it's a one size fits all. But health wellness helps us for everyone, right? Um, so 6 days, six parts. And we have another system in here, which is sort of like a volunteering thing, right? And volunteers, they can register, right? And you might be wondering, why would someone volunteer to do extra work, right? And yeah, I understand that. Um, but let's put it about it this way, right? If someone from the insurance company or someone who is a doctor or someone who's very skilled at their crafts, right? If they retire, right? What usually happens? Well, first they just retire to their house and just don't do anything, right? But now they can come volunteer and it can make life interesting for them and the other people within that community, right? If they can retire, they can keep their skills sharp and continue to work in their field, right? Um, and what is the benefit to volunteering is that they have the opportunity to serve, right? An opportunity of service to benefiting and bettering the community, right? Um, if we don't have daily jobs, then like an TC community that I showed here, then it's tougher to interact, right? And if you keep staying home, there are more downsides, right? Like, for example, you get fat and then you lose your social skills, right? That basically what's going to happen, right? Um, if you if you're a volunteer, then you feel that you sort of have a responsibility to the community, right? And the result is a community that is very, very interactive, a lot of social trait, right? And can you keep, so the goal of this is to keep it more consistent with each other, right? So volunteers can join the volunteers group, and people can join from their location, their neighborhood, their community center, and they can share about what they learn and what their field is, kind of in a way, right? And the other aspect of this is that the local business can join also. This is also what I'm going to expand upon or develop on tomorrow. That the local business can join us and they can join and use their things to sponsor us and have people um, understand them more, right? So this leads that the friendship between each other are more consistent actually, and this leads to more care, right? Because let's be honest, right? What is the American community like before in our development? Well, it's no secret that the U.S. is just super. Yeah, it's a great country, great community, but we are also super individualistic, right? We care about ourselves, right? We care about ourselves first, and it's like a self reliance thing. We can do things better, so we can self rely on ourselves, right? But this pandemic, perhaps to most people, is a crisis, which I could say it is. But through COVID-19, we realized the benefits of just caring and concerning for each other, right? We don't have um, we realize that in order to have a good life, we need to care and concern for each other, right? If we maintain this care, then we don't need to worry about ourselves as much, because you know that people always care for you, right? You have this um, brotherhood going, right? Um, if we maintain this care, then we don't need to worry about ourselves that much, right? For example, people are dying at home, and now you don't need to worry about that because people always got you, right? The pandemic should not really drive people apart. But instead, we should never let a good crisis go to waste. But instead, we should use it to build more closer, more stronger, and more consistent relationships and communities. And that will blossom to a new community feel, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for developing the TC community and about local businesses. So thank you guys.